Good morning, friends. Happy Thursday. Hope you have all had a beautiful and fabulous hump day yesterday and a really lovely morning before we roll on into our second to last day before the weekend. And I don't know about you, but I'm actually really looking forward to it. I love what I do. Gosh, what's going on with the hair? I really love what I do, but I also really thoroughly love, hey Cal, also really thoroughly love having some downtime over the weekend. My boundaries are that I don't work on weekends unless I'm running events and stuff like that. So here's an amazing day. What I wanted to chat with you about today is why it's really, really important for you to be really clear around the decisions that you're making. Good morning, Ainsley. The decisions that you're making, and trying to make sure that you're not reacting or making decisions based on how you feel, right? So there will be times where there might be people who come across or come through your world who activate you. Now, I remember a few years ago, there were a group of women who came through my staff who really activated me. To start with, they were really great, but then they started to get like really niggly and needy, and my instant reaction is kind of like, whoa, that's a little much for me. It was like negative emotion. And so for me, I really had to think about, right, how do I make the decisions in terms of being able to move forward and progress with these particular people while still delivering and making sure that they get what they need. So in this particular instance, one of the things that happened, I was running a retreat actually, and one of these women was just very demanding, let's say, and really it was messing with the group dynamic. And initially I was like, oh my gosh, this is all about me. I'm really shit at this, and this is not great. And the pressure that I felt, morning Tamara, the pressure that I felt, which is self-imposed pressure, right, was based on me guessing and trying to predetermine and work out what the reaction was going to be, or what the fallout might be, and this, that, and the other. So, well, I had a breakdown, as you do. And I really had to take some time to wallow in my little pool of self-pity. Now, for me, that was about half an hour. I was like at the worst part of it. I was literally sobbing on the floor. I was really devastated about how this thing was actually playing out. And the pressure that I felt and the tension and the anxiety was because I was refusing to take action. I was making the choice to not take action. I was making the choice to not deal with the thing that was going on. So I had my little meltdown, and I made the decision then at that point that this was actually unsustainable in terms of my emotional well-being. It was unsustainable. So I made the decision. I was like, okay, Nick, get out of it, get the fuck over yourself, pretty much. That's enough now. What do you need to do to be able to get rid of this, to be able to deliver, get rid of this emotion and angst and things like that, in order to be able to move on and do what needs to be done for this particular person as well as for the other people in the room? The moment I made the decision, it was almost like this really interesting kind of like power shift. Not that I was trying to exert power, but all of a sudden I was just like, you know what? I've had enough of this now. This is how I'm dealing with it. This is on my terms, and the heck with whatever else it is that happens. I'm making this decision to make my life easier and to make the lives around me easier. So with that decision, I was like, right, this is what I'm going to do. This is how I'm going to do it. And this is a conversation I had with my team at the time, and just said, this is how we're going to do it, okay? And it's going to be great. It's going to be amazing. We're going to deliver like we've never delivered before. And at the end of it, she's going to walk away, I'm going to walk away, and the two paths shall never cross again. So that was a decision, and it was just like, it was almost like a whole sense of calm came over me, and I was just ready to go. The reason I share this is that this can be mirrored with clients that you might work with at different times. You might see this play out in your relationships, right? Where we create these inadvertently, and I don't believe that we do it on purpose, but they're really good lessons to learn, right? We create this bubble of stress and pressure and anxiety around a perceived outcome. What I mean by that is that we're thinking that something is going to happen, or we're thinking that something is not going to happen, right? So in a sales call, you've got all this pressure and you're really like kind of tied into it, and you're like, oh my gosh, I really want to make this sale. I really want to make this sale. That's your emotion then driving the whole entire process. You've really got to be able to step back and go, all right, let's take that out. What needs to happen? How can I serve this person the best? And how can I really make this work for me? Yeah. Oh, Kelly, get out of my head. Well, I like living in your head. It's kind of fun. So often the reason that we've got pressure is because we want something or we don't want something, right? Which is self-imposed pressure. So it might be on the pressure that you're putting on yourself to make sales. It might be the pressure that you're putting on yourself to deliver. It might be the pressure that you're putting on yourself to be more productive. So, and that pressure comes from the emotion that we're attaching to the outcome. Yeah, I hope you're all with me. So if that outcome that we want is a whole lot of content going out, okay, great. Well, my recommendation is to sit back and just go, okay, cool. So I've got all of this content to do. Just take that step back. I've got all this content to do. What do I need to do? Let's just go and do the best job that I can. Let's go and deliver this in the best way that I can, and really kind of lead from here, lead from your heart, rather than trying to lead from your head all the time, because your head plays out best case scenario and worst case scenario, and then you kind of get this little fight that dances between, right? So for me, the easiest way that you can remain calm under pressure is to stop worrying and focusing on the freaking outcome, right? Ainsley, oh God, I hate it when you're right, attaching to the outcome. Yeah, right? If you think about any time that you've been feeling stressed, I mean, if you think back to year 12, for me, when I did year 12, I got a little bit stressed over the mid-year exams because I was worried about the outcome. I was worried about my grades. Now, it doesn't mean that we don't put the effort in, but you know, it's really interesting. I'm doing a certification early next year around different things, and it brings in a lot of the work from David R. Hawkins around power versus force and the frequencies that we operate. So we've got like pride, guilt, and a bunch of others I can't remember. And then we've got courage and joy and acceptance. That like they vibrate at a higher frequency. Those feelings are at a higher frequency. So if you can get to the point where we're moving, you know, essentially we've got those below the line feelings and we can get to above the line. Acceptance is where, you know what? I'm going to do the best that I can, and it is what it is. You know, I've been saying that. So that has almost been my mantra for the last 6 months. You know what? This is what I'm going to do. I'm not going to be hung up on the outcome. I'm going to do the absolute best that I can, and whatever happens will happen. It is what it is. Let's just freaking go. Right? It doesn't mean that I don't want the outcome. It doesn't mean that I don't want to make the sales. It doesn't mean that I don't want to have a room filled with amazing business owners. It doesn't mean that I don't want the, to get back to the $1 million life. It doesn't mean that I don't want to get back and, do more roadshow events. I want all of that. But I can't I can't take the action while trying to control the outcome, because it kind of taints the whole energy that you put into it. And therefore we get self-imposed pressure, right? So that's that. So in order to remain calm, if you're stressed and under pressure, just go, all right, what can I do? What's the best frame of mind that I can come at this at? And just start taking action without being hung up on the outcome. I know it's hard. Sometimes it's a learning. I'm still learning how to do this in terms of being able to do it really well. I still get hung up in stuff. A great case in point, I was asked to write a proposal to a corporate client. And he came back to me saying, well, you're a lot more expensive than some other quotes that I've had come through. And I've just gone, my initial reaction is like, oh. And then I've got like this split second after, I'm like, you know what? The proposal, I didn't say this, but in my head, I'm like, the proposal that I gave him was the most fair proposal that I could possibly give him based on the work that needed to be done. And I'm not prepared to undercut my price or decrease the price that I quoted in order to do that work. So I just went back and I said, you know what? I can't compare my service to anybody else because I don't know what they're offering, so I'm not even going to try. Here's what I can do. And if you want me to work with you, then that's great. And if not, that's totally fine as well. You've got to be 100% certain, as much as you can be, that I'm the best and the right person to help you. And if you're not there yet, I'm not the right person. And that's pretty much what I said in that email. I wasn't trying to convince him to work with me. I wasn't hung up on the outcome. And at the end of the day, he's going to decide to do what he's going to do. I'm not going to try and manipulate the process. I'm just going to stand my ground. You know, so the more that you guys can invoke that feeling of certainty, get rid of that pressure, because you will crack under pressure. If you keep applying pressure, you crack. And what those cracks can look like is adrenal fatigue. It can look like anxiety. It can look like depression. It can look like falling out of love with your business. It can look like you becoming snappier and more grumpy with your children. It can lead to fighting in your relationship. It can lead to less productivity because you're sitting there scrolling on your freaking phone all the time, looking at what everybody else is doing. And so you get caught up in this vortex of shitness, right? And then before you can actually kind of like flick out. So soon as you feel that you've got pressure, stop, step back, recalibrate, remind yourself why you're doing what you're doing. What is it that you need to do? And just start taking the steps without being attached to the outcome of that. All right? Hope that helps you today. Tamara, it is what it is. I was typing this just before you said it. Yeah. Like, it is what it is like acceptance. You know, we don't want to try and manipulate the process. You can influence it, but we've just got to be really clear with how you're going about doing what it is that you're doing. All right, guys. Happy Thursday. I really thank you guys for coming and hanging out with me. I love talking to you. Surprise, surprise. We've got a really big day ahead. I've got some coaching calls today. I've got a therapy session, so that'll be great. I've got some bonus printing that I need to get done in order to get these books sent out today. I've got some books to sign as well, apparently, tomorrow. So have a really amazing and great day. I can't wait to chat with you guys tomorrow. Tomorrow is Celebration Friday, so come armed to share all of the great and amazing stuff that has gone on in your worlds over this week. And I look forward to celebrating with you. Have a great day. Bye.